Hello students, we are going to consider a frame problem. Okay, we have to analyze a frame using direct stiffness method. And steps remain the same. The step number 1, we are going to find out the degree of freedom, then assign the directions to global and local coordinates. That is our step number 2. Step number 3, we are going to find out the fixed end moments and also reactions. Step number 4, we are going to calculate equivalent joint loads. Step number 5, we are going to form the load matrices. Okay, so there are two matrices. One is global coordinates by one matrix, and other matrix is PE, which is for local coordinates by 1, the size of the matrix. Then step number 6, we have to form the element stiffness matrix K1, K2, K3 up to whatever number of elements are there. Okay, so if there are two elements, then only K1, K2 will come. Then this formula is very important, you have to remember it. So this formula, you just remember that these three elements of the first row and the first column, they are same. Okay, remaining being, you just try to by heart it. Okay, so you can see the similarity. These two elements are same, these two are same, and these two are same, these two are same. Okay, and in this is the element number 12. Then step number 7 is we have to find out the global stiffness matrix using principle of superposition. So here it will be degree of freedom by degree of freedom. Then we have to find the displacement matrix, delta equals to K inverse of inverse into PL. Then here the size of the matrix is degree of freedom by 1. Then step number 9, we are going to find the final forces for individual member, and then we are going to plot the shear force and bending moment diagram. So let's see a question. So this is a question. This is a frame where two supports are hinge support. Okay, so here also hinge support, here also hinge support. So let's name the frame. Let's call it as A, B, and C, and see what are the loads acting on the frame. So here there is a point load acting, and here is a UDL, and there is a external moment acting on the frame. Now let's see what is the step number 1. So step number 1 is that we have to find out the degree of freedom. Okay, so what is the degree of freedom here? So you can see this is a hinge support, means there will be 1 degree of freedom here, there will be 1 degree of freedom at this hinge support as well, and there will be 1 degree of freedom at B. Okay, so one rotation at B. So we can write degree of freedom is equal to total 3. So what are those? That is theta A, theta B, theta C. Okay, those are the degree of freedom. So this is our step number 1. Then step number 2, that we have to assign global and local coordinates. Okay, so we have to assign global and local coordinates. So how do we assign? So how are they? Just see a small diagram. So this is a hinge end. Here also it is a hinge support. So here there is one rotation theta A, there is other rotation theta B, and then there is theta C. Theta A, theta B, theta C. Okay, so this is coordinate number 1, this is 2, this is 3. Okay, similarly then we have to give the local coordinates. Okay, local coordinates. So let's see how many local coordinates. So local coordinates are nothing but 2 into number of elements. Okay, 2 into number of members or elements. So in this frame there are 2 members, so we can write 2 into 2 is equal to 4. Now let us assign the local coordinates as well. So there are 2 members here, so we can write that here for each member, let's write down. So that is first here 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is coordinate number 1, coordinate number 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so these are the 4 local coordinates. Now the step number 5 is, you all are aware, that is we have to calculate fixed end moments, and I think you all are expert in that, fixed end moments. So now just see the members. We have to also calculate the reactions in this. Okay, so first let's see the fixed end moments. So fixed end moment here, here if you can see there is a uniformly distributed load acting all over the span. Okay, so what we have to write, uniformly distributed load acting for the member AB. So in this case, do you remember the formula? This is 48 kilonewton, okay, and then this is fixed end moment when point load is acting at a distance A and B. So this is 120 kilonewton and this is 48 kilonewton per meter. This is our end A, B, C. Okay. So fixed end moment MF of AB and MF of BA. MF of BA. F for fixed end moment. So that is WL square by 8. Okay. So that is 48 into 5 square by 12. So when you do this calculation, we get the answer as 100. Okay, 100 kilonewton meter. Then the fixed end moment for BC and CB. So if you remember the formula, M of BC is equal to W AB square by L square. Whereas this is your A, this is your B. Okay, so A is 1.6. So B will be, it will be 2.4, right? So substitute values 120 into 1.6 into 2.4 square by 4 square. Okay, so here you get the answer as 69.12 kilonewton meter. Then M of CB, you will use the formula W A square B by L square. Okay, so here you get the answer as 46.08 kilonewton meter. Let's go to step number 4. Now here we have to calculate equivalent joint loads. Okay, EQJLs. So for equivalent joint loads, at the same time we also need to find out what are the reactions here. Okay, so that is we are going to use it and we'll find it out soon. So here equivalent joint loads, we have to simply whatever answers we got it, so that we have to write down. So this is moment here 100 kilonewton meter, 100 kilonewton meter. Now let's find out the reaction as well. Okay, what are the reactions here? There will be some reactions, so let's indicate those reactions here. So for this case, to calculate reactions at this place, I'm just calculating in this part. Okay, and there is a space here, so I'm just showing this diagram. So let's call this as, okay, this is the end A and this is B. Okay, so here let's call it as A and B. This is A and B. So here the horizontal reaction, let's call it as HB. Okay, let's call it as HA. Okay, because this is in horizontal direction if you see like this. Okay, so this is HA and HB, and then there is the other element. So other element is like this element. Okay, I'm just redrawing these diagrams over here. So this element, it will be, let us call it as VB and VC. So you simply have to find out the reactions. So here when you have to calculate these reactions, when you do summation of forces in H direction, then here HA plus HB equals to total load acting over here. Okay, so what you will write? HA plus HB, and this is a UDL over here. So we will write HA plus HB is equal to 48 into 5 by 2 into 5 by 2. Okay, so here you will get it. It's because a uniformly distributed load acting all over the span, it will be the same load. So reactions will be same. It is 120 kilonewton. Okay. Similarly, for this case, there is only one single load acting here. So when you do the consider moment about any one support, moment about B support is 0. Okay, so here you get the answer of VC. I think this is very easy to calculate. So I'm just directly writing answers over here. So what answer for VC you get? VC is equal to 42.24 kilonewton, and VB answer is 77.76 kilonewton. Okay, this is 77.76. So just consider it as a simply supported beam and calculate reactions. Okay, so this is very easy part. So these are the answers. Now there is little less space, so I have just directly written answers over here. Now once you get all the answers, okay, so here you can observe that this is the direction of movement is like this and the force is like this. So what we have to do, we have to simply, while writing EQGL, we have to simply apply the opposite directions. Okay, opposite directions. So how it is, just see here. So these are the two members I am writing. Now this reactions HA and HB, we got it as 120. Okay, so I am writing it in opposite direction. So 120 like this, 120 like this, and then here it is going upward, these reactions VB and VC, so I am just writing in opposite direction. Similarly for the, now write down the values of moments. So here the value of moment, it is 46.08 kilonewton meter. Okay, this answer. Then here it is 69.12 kilonewton meter. Then this reaction is 42.24 kilonewton. Then this is 77.76 kilonewton. Then this is 120. This is 120 kilonewton. Okay, so this is your equivalent joint loads. Okay, now once we are done with this, then our next step is to calculate, write down load matrix. Okay, so once we have anything, we have calculated everything, so we have to simply write it down now. So let's write down the load matrices. So here it is PL. PL is a load matrix, and size of it is degree of freedom by 1. So how much is degree of freedom? Global degree of freedom is 3. So it is a 3 by 1 matrix. Okay, now just see the load, what is acting. Okay, so when you see this load matrix, so just see at this, just see this diagram. This is 100, this is 100. Okay, so here at A point there is a 100 load. Okay, it is in clockwise, so we'll write 100. Then at B point you can see the 100 in anti-clockwise, this is in clockwise, and also don't forget this rotation, which is 25 kilonewton meter. So write down according to their direction. So minus 100 plus 69.12 plus 25. Then here it is minus 46.08. What is this? The third is 46.08. Okay, it is in anti-clockwise direction. So now just do the summation. So you get the answer as minus 55.88 minus 46.08. Okay, so this is your 3 by 1 matrix. Now write down, this is your global matrix. Now let us write down for the element. Okay, so element matrix PE. So here the coordinates for this is local coordinates by 1. So here there are 4 coordinates, 4 into 1, 4 by 1 matrix. Okay, so let's write it. So here just see the member. Okay, just see the member and simply write down all the values. So here you can see the 100 moment, and then you can see 100 moment here, one more moment here. Okay, and then the load. So you will write first 100, this is clockwise, this is anti-clockwise, minus 100. Then there is a 69.12 moment. So we are writing all moment values, 69.12, and then 46.08. Okay, so these are the values we have written. Then let us write down for member AB only. Okay, so for member AB what all is acting, so that we have to write down. So this PE, first we have just, what are the rotations, that value we have written. Then here now for PEAB, just see this member AB, what all acting over there. So there is a rotation, there is a moment and reaction. So we have to write down this. So at A point you can see that 120 kilonewton load is going down and 100 kilonewton meter load is clockwise. So this is minus and this is plus, this is minus and this is minus. So minus 120, 100, minus 120, minus 100. Okay, this is our PEAB. Now just write down similar way for PEBC. So here you will write minus 77.76. Okay, these values. So this is going downward, so minus. This is clockwise, so plus 69.12. Then this is going downward, minus 42.24, and this is again minus, anti-clockwise direction, 46.08. Okay, so this completes our element matrix. Okay, for this is this element number, member number BC. Okay, so now let's move to the step number. So we have done with the step number 5. So exactly 5 steps are done, and we are left with the 5 more steps. So let's see the step number 6. So for step number 6 is equal to EI by L cube into this. Okay, this you just remember. minus 6L minus 12 minus 6L, then here minus 6L 4L square, then here it is 6L 2L square, then again here the same number will be there, minus 12 minus 6L, this is 6L 2L square, then this is 12 6L 4L square. Okay, so this is Kij matrix. Now simply go by the member. Okay, so this is the AB member. So what are there? We are representing it, this is Vi, Vj, theta I, theta j. This is the common format for any member. I and j can be A, B, B, C, C, D, whatever number of members are available in the questions. So K of AB, now we will be writing K of AB and K of BC. So for K of AB, this is 1.5 EI. Okay, so we have written 1.5 EI divided by L cube, that is 5. This length is 5 meter. Okay, so let's write down the values over here. Okay, so 12, then here minus 6 into 5, then here minus 12, then again minus 6 into 5, then again here minus 6 into 5, 4 into 5 square, 6 into 5, 2 into 5 square, minus 12, minus 6 into 5, 6 into 5, 12, 6 into 5, 2 into 5 square, 6 into 5, 4 into 5 square, because length is 5. Okay, then now when you just take this ratio 1.5 by 5 cube, and then this number you divide by, okay, divide all numbers divide by this, okay, 12 into 1.5 by 5 cube. So when you multiply with the whole matrix with this number, you will arrive at these values. So you write it down and you check for yourself. 0.144, 0.36, 0.149, minus 0.36, then minus 0.36, 1.2, 3.36, 0.6, minus 144, 0.36, 0.144, 0.36. Then there is minus 0.36, 0.6, 0.36, 1.2. Okay, and this is multiplied by ER. Now here each and every you have to be really careful. Okay, the first row it is mentioned by HA. Okay, this is the HA row, then this is theta A, this is VB, this is HB and theta B, sorry, because it's a horizontal reaction. Okay, at this, so we are writing HB, otherwise we would have written VB, HB and theta B. Okay, so these are our, similarly here also HA, theta A, HB, theta B. Now let us write down similar way for the second matrix. So here it is 12. Again all members whatever upper you can see, we will now write it with the length as 4 meter, because BC member is having 4 meter length. Minus 6 into 4, minus 6 into 4, 4 square, 6 into 4, 2 into 4 square, minus 12, 6 into 4, kindly see the column, okay, respective. This is 12, then 6 into 4, then minus 6 into 4, 2 into 4 square, 6 into 4, 4 into 4 square. Okay, so once you do the calculation, then finally we get the values at 0.3, minus 0.6, minus 0.3, minus 0.6, minus 0.6, minus 0.3, minus 0.6. Okay, then it is 1.6, 0.6, 0.8, 0.6, 0.3, 0.6, 0.8, 0.6, 0. This is 1.6. Last number is 1.6. Now step number 7, we have to write down global stiffness matrix using principle of superposition. Okay, so here how we are going to use it? Yeah, before that let us write down the values over here, that each row and column they are representing VB, theta B, VC, theta C. Okay, theta C. Again here also VB, theta B, VC, theta C. Now write down theta A corresponding to theta A. What is the value? Theta A corresponding to theta A. So what will come here? So see these two column, okay? Theta A, here theta A. So this is our this is our column, okay? So here theta A corresponding to theta A. So you can get the answer as 1.2. Okay, if you see this row and this column. So your answer is 1.2. Then theta B corresponding to theta A. So theta B corresponding to theta A, that is 0.6. And for AB member there is no value of C, so it is 0. Now see theta A corresponding to theta B. So theta A corresponding to theta B, so 0.6. So we'll write here 0.6. Then theta B corresponding to theta B. So you get 1.2. Okay, so you will write 1.2 here. Then there will be one more theta B corresponding to theta B. So here 1.6. So write down 1.6. Then theta C corresponding to theta B. So 0.8. So 0.8. Then theta A corresponding to theta C. So theta A corresponding to theta C, there is nothing, so 0 here. Then theta B corresponding to theta C. So here this matrix you have to see theta B corresponding to theta C. So you get 0.8. 0.8, and then theta C corresponding to theta C 1.6. Okay, so then your final matrix becomes 1.2, 0.60, then 0.6, 2.8, 0.8, 0, 0.8, 1.6. Okay, so this is our matrix. Then after this we have to find out the displacement matrix. Okay, so for displacement matrix our formula is delta is equal to, that is the size of matrix is degree of freedom by 1. So how much degree of freedom we have? 3 by 1. So the formula is K inverse into PL matrix. Okay, now how do we calculate K inverse? So K inverse, formula for K inverse is equal to 1 by determinant of K into adjoint of K. Okay, so determinant of K, so you have to simply use the previous matrix just now what we have calculated. So this determinant of this K matrix. Okay, so we have to use this determinant. So how we will calculate determinant? 1.2 into 2.8 into 1.6 minus 0. Into 0.8, then minus 0.6 into this multiplication plus 0 into this. Okay, so that line I am writing over here. So determinant of K matrix is 1.2 into 2.8 into 1.6 minus 0.8 into 0.8 minus 0.6 into 0.6 into 1.6 minus 0 into 0.8 plus 0. So we get the answer as 4.032. Okay, so once we get this, then we have to calculate adjoint of K. So adjoint of K means we have to replace this particular element. Means when you consider this particular element, then you have to exclude this row and this column and write down the remaining elements. Okay, when you consider this element, then in this case you have to exclude this row and this column and you have to write the remaining elements. So similar way, in previous problem also I have considered this. So write down these values, same K matrix, for that only we have to write. Then 0.8 into 1.6. Then for this negative sign will be there. So just refer the previous class how this negative sign comes. Okay, this is a mathematical concept. So this is 1.6. Then here 0.8. Here it is 2.8. Here it is 0. It is 0.8. So for this third member it is this numbers, right? 0.6, 2.8, 0, 0.8. Then write down the remaining members. Now here it is minus. So 0.6, 0, 0.8, 1.6, 1.2, 0, 0, 1.6, 1.2, again this is minus, 1.2, 0, 0, 0.8, 0.6, 0, 2.8, 0.8, 1.2, 0, 0.6, 0.8, then 1.2, 0.6, 0.6, 2.8. So once you have written adjoint of matrix, then write down the answer over here. So 2.8 into 1.6 minus 0.8 into 0.8. So when you do this calculation, so for all this, you will get the answer like this. So solve it and check it. So this is minus 0.94, 1.92, 0.96, 0.48, 0.96, 3. Okay, so once you get the adjoint of matrix, then you will write find out the K inverse. Okay, so we'll find out this. So K inverse formula is 1 by determinant of K by adjoint of K. So now we have adjoint of K, we have the determinant value. So write down 1.4032 and write down this adjoint of K matrix. Okay, adjoint of K matrix you write down here this matrix, and when you do the calculation, then you arrive at the answer, that is 1 by EI minus 0.2381, 0.119. Second row is minus 0.2381, 0.4762, minus 0.2381. Then again 0.1190 minus 0.2381, 0.744. Okay, so once you write down K inverse, then multiply with the, then find out final delta matrix. Okay, that is 1 by EI into K inverse matrix into this PL matrix. Okay, so we already have this load matrix. So when you multiply, we get the answer like this. So what answers we get? So you have to remember that this first value represents for theta A, second for theta B, and third for theta C. And just see the directions. So this is clockwise, this is anti-clockwise, this is anti-clockwise. So once you are done with this delta, then we are going to use this. Okay, these are important values. Now calculate the final forces. So for our final forces, just write down what member wise we will be doing. So first consider AB member and then BC. So for AB member we have these forces HA, MA, VB, MB. Okay, so that if you remember the our member, okay, AB. So HA, this is HB. Okay, HA, MA, HB, MB. So then we will write these values, only these rows, these columns we have to take it from previous calculation. Okay, so theta A, so you know this calculation. Okay, the step number 6. So we have to just simply copy this row, this column, and this column. Okay, simply write it down there. So we have copied those lines over here. Okay, so this is our one matrix. Then we are going to consider these values theta A and theta B. Okay, so these values we have written into 1 by EI of this P of AB, that AB matrix what we have calculated before, that element matrix, this matrix we have to write down. Okay, similarly for a BC member we will be writing this matrix. So now multiply it with that. When you do this solution, so finally our answers we get it as 97.0130. Okay, so when you do this calculation, and when you this is minus. Okay, so this formula also we have. So when you follow these steps, then we get the final forces as this. Okay, so this is our step number 9. Now step number in this, let's consider the member BC. So here what are the forces? VB, MB, VC, MC, and these are the tentative reactions. Okay, that tentative signs. So it may be if we get the opposite sign, so that means that we have to change the sign direction. So here we have to again copy these two columns, okay, theta B and theta C from the previous solution. So here you know theta B, okay. So here we are in step number 6, element stiffness matrix. So copy theta B and theta C corresponding columns only and write it here, and then multiply with our delta value. Okay, theta B, theta C. So these two values are there, and then we multiply with the this element matrix PEBC, okay, load matrix. So that we have multiplied, and when you do the calculation, finally you arrive at these values. So VB value is 106, MB value 139, this is VC, this is MB. So you can check here that at MC, okay, so our frame is like that, and this is our hinge support. So this is hinge and this is hinge, so there definitely moment should be 0 here. So you can see the answer at this case, okay, it is 0 moment. And here also moment at A is 0. Okay, so there is a check where we can see. So if you see the moment at B, moment at B is 114.455 and moment at B is 139.46. So at B point, if you do the summation, okay, so you should get the net moment what is acting, so that is 25. So you will get the 25. So that is how we can check the answers. Now come to quickly step number 10. So step number 10 is to draw shear force and bending moment diagram. Okay, so you are already aware of it. Now here the beauty of this direct stiffness method that you directly get the shear force values. So this 142.91, 97.1, 106.875, this is just we have calculated. You can see here. Okay, see the values 97 point. This is HA, HB, and then you have VB and VC. Okay, so simply write them down. You don't have to again calculate it. Okay, so once you write down, then it's very easy to draw the shear force diagram. So here we have plotted it, and because there is a uniformly distributed load, so you get a linear behavior slanting line. And then this becomes your, here it is a 120, so you can also check it, 106.875, that's value we got. So total should be 120. So this is 13.125. So this is your shear force diagram. Now for bending moment diagram, first consider it as a simply supported beam and draw a bending moment for the external load acting. So here for uniformly distributed load, you will draw a parabola and the maximum bending moment for the UDL, that is WL square by 8. So you get the 150 kilonewton meter value. And moment here, anyways, we have calculated that moment. So that moment is 114.5. Okay, that is also we have 114.5 at B point we have that moment. Okay, and here it is 139.46. So we will simply plot that point and connect it. Here also, because there is a point load acting, okay, so it's a D point, so this is the corresponding to D point. Okay, so here also we will calculate 106.875 into this 1.6, so you will get 115.2. so this is that moment, and this moment is with our calculation what we got. Then connect those points, and with this we are done with our bending moment diagram. Okay students, so hope you have understood this problem. This is little lengthy, but with practice you will understand and you will enjoy solving it. So thank you for listening. Thank you students.